Morning.
Morning.
How's everybody feeling? Full house. I love it. Right? You guys look beautiful. All right. Love your spirit. The blessings of Sunday. So we'll see where we go with that today. It has been, when I was told that this may be my topic, I'm a church boy. I love Sundays, right? It's we offer many, many things here. Sunday is my thing, right? So I was excited to do this message because I'm a big fan. I'm holding the Sunday sign. I'm holding the church sign. Let's all show up and hang out with each other, right? And as I'm doing this and going through this and with this, the book we've been using, The Love Without End, it went a little different than I was expecting. So it's been a little bit of personal experience this time. So I'm my mother's son. I'm being upfront with you. I'm still working on the service, so just be with me, okay? You guys cool with that? Yeah. All right. So, hopefully this all makes sense. The first thing I want to do, we're using this Love Without End book, Jesus Speaks. It's Glenda Green. She is basically, we've told it a bunch, so if you've been here, but if you haven't, she is drawing Jesus and conversating with him, having a conversation with Jesus. And she's asking him all these questions, and these are responses she's gotten from him during the process. So my typical style is to not read, for whatever reason. You can say what you want about me. But I think it says some really cool stuff in here, the way it's written, and I think it's powerful if I read it. So I'm just going to read it. And today I want to think about, we were talking about the power of Sundays, right? So we'll start with this. I want to start with this one, just to kind of set a foundation here. A lot of marks in here. All right. The fourth law of Moses states, "You shall remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. The Sabbath is a day of grace which follows 6 days of work or creation. It represents a rest from the labors of structure and a return to the love that you are. Through rest, your inner rightness can be restored and brought into an appropriate celebration of divinity. Keep this day holy by entering the heart and experiencing the sacred bond with your Creator. Experience the love of peace and the joy which wholeness can bring. In this sacred time, love also the one Spirit and celebrate its wholeness." Sounds pretty right with what we already assume and think of Sunday and the Sabbath in particular. But I want to look at this one spot. So yes, we want to connect back to our Creator, honor the divinity within yourself, look to eternity, step away from the temporary. And Jesus is speaking all of this, and he even mentions rest from the labors of structure. So the structure, what is structure? It's the job. It's the obligatory actions we do. It's the choices we make. You can look at structure in varying different levels of awareness. You can see the structure in your mind and your thoughts. You can see the structure in your emotions. You can see structure in the outer. All of those are temporary. All of that will end. All of that will end. What will not end? Your inner rightness can be restored to an appropriate celebration of divinity. Experience the love, peace, and joy wholeness can bring in this sacred time. Love the one Spirit and celebrate its wholeness. He's saying, here's the Sabbath, right? Take your structure, put it down, and turn to God. And turn to God not in a sacrificial way to celebrate your divinity. Turn to God to celebrate your oneness. Turn to God to celebrate your wholeness. Not turn to God to say, oh, I screwed up on Wednesday. Wednesday I said a bad word. I would need to feel bad and come get my punishment for the week. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. That's not the Sabbath. I want to read something else too. And this is a longer, so just hold with me. I think all these words are valuable. All right? I won't read it as slow. And I'm just jumping in the conversation. She is talking with him about other stuff, ownership of your life, and she's asking about ownership of things and blah, 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 blah. And he's talking about, it's a really long answer, and I'm catching the last of it. But he cautioned, don't try to own structure for its own sake. All structure is mortal. All structure fades away. Striving to own structure is a futile and thankless labor for which it is all transitionary and illusional. This is why the Creator rested on the seventh day. The effort to own and manage the structure simply isn't worth what it will cost. Even Creator didn't try to own the structure created. Creator rested on the seventh day. Think about that. What do we do with our creations? We try to own them. We care about what happens after they're created. So, in an effort to own and manage structure simply isn't worth it. I recommend that you store up your wealth in heaven, where the memory of your love will recreate all that is yours, leaving behind the structures which deceived you. Actually, he added, this is the true blessing of the Sabbath. It is the day in which you release from your life the dominance of the structure. You behold the laws of God, the infinite of the cosmos, and rest. In doing so, you have suspended the artificialities and illusions which seek to possess you, so that you may return to the love that you are. Boom, 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 boom. You can't take the Sabbath by yourself. The Sabbath is a blessing you extend to everyone, universally, as a gift of freedom. Think about that. Everyone, universally, not just in America, not just in the South, not just because we have the same belief systems. We extend the Sabbath to everyone universally as a message of freedom. It is a gift of amnesty of structured existence, in which it reveals your moment, the power of sacredness of just being. The seventh day has been greatly misinterpreted to mean the Creator retired. Nothing could be further from the truth. From that point on, the Creator loves, maintains, and assists by being, not by doing. Resting, not retiring. If you would be like your sacred source, you will learn the secret of commanding life through being love. As you attain the ability to rise above the structure, the seventh day is a celebration of your Creator's supremacy over structure. Whenever you take onto yourself, you harmonize with the principle. Whenever you extend it to others, you are liberating the world from its prison. When you extend the Sabbath, the open ability for someone to choose freely to connect with their source, you are liberating the world from its prison. Think about that. And think all the little structured connotation that comes with that, right? You have to do what we've been saying. You have to release judgment like Patrick did. You have to do love like Cindy did. You have to work on that to really, honestly, truly give it freely. But it's a gift to be given. And this is the last thing I'll read from this. I like this. It doesn't really have anything. Just side note. Just hear it. When structure interprets the Bible, it does so to perpetuate its illusions. When love reads the Bible, it does so to penetrate illusion and arrive at truth. Structure, Sabbath. Structure, the everyday. Good, bad, and different. I don't care what it is. It's very helpful for us. We need structure. I'm not saying don't have it. I'm saying the Sabbath is intended to be a place of being one and recognizing the eternal nature of your spirit, not the temporariness of your life. All right? Feeling good? Yes. So I want to, as we go forward, we kind of look at Sabbath as a way to honor, more of an idea than a day of the week, right? She mentioned she's asking about the Sabbath being on Sundays, whether it could be any day. And it's not really something I'm going to hammer, but Jesus says, yes, it can be, but as long as enough people agree, because there has to be that ability to give and take it. We have to give the Sabbath and take it. So there has to be that agreement that people will stop their structure. And so you can see in America, at least, I can speak for Georgia, Woodstock, Interquest, because, I don't want to say something that might get me in trouble. We have agreed, for the most part, to allow Sundays to be our day of Sabbath, because we go off of that seventh day, right? And we allow everybody else to do that. So without judgment, too. All right? Is enough people have agreed to that. That makes a nice Sabbath. So I pivot here just slightly, and I want us to look at church. I want us to look at church because God gave us the Sabbath. We were given this directive, this thing to honor the Creator, honor our eternal spirit, and drop the structure for a day, for a time period. It's not drop and then never go back, because we need it. But we took that idea and we structured it. And we structured it. And I will stand here and tell you, I love the structure. I love the structure. But I see it. I can look in the mirror. I'm not blind to it to say that we have some sort of holier than thou Sabbath thing. Church is structure in which Sabbath can flourish. You hear me? Not the same. As we stand as a people now, we still need, it is a way for us to utilize Sabbath and to function within the ability that we own. If we didn't need structure to honor the Sabbath, we wouldn't need structure in our lives, because we would always see eternally. We would always see through the eyes of God. We would always see love and non-judgment. So it's a little spot, right? We're getting a little confusing. I could go down the rabbit hole a little bit with this, but I want you to see two different things. Sabbath is not church, right? Sabbath is Sabbath, a way to put down the structure. We've taken it as human beings because we need it. And I say we, it happened a long time ago. Jesus didn't say set up church. Jesus didn't talk about church very much. Jesus didn't say what to do other than go within. And Jesus walked the Sabbath every day. Jesus didn't need the structure of a job or of the rules of people. He could function harmoniously with everyone without it. We took that Sabbath and said, we need a structure because we ain't there yet. And it's okay. It's not something that we need to judge. So I go back and forth, and me and Patrick like to kind of go down the rabbit hole a little bit on this. But I think, and this may just be my naive eyes, I think in generations past, people, not everybody, but a certain number of people have gotten angry or resentful of the structure, not the Sabbath. Because if you really truly look at what the Sabbath is, it is a time to rest and connect back to unconditional love, truth, peace, God, things that are eternal. I don't think people are mad about that. I think they're mad about the structure. They wish I was wearing a blue tie instead of a red. You know what I'm saying? And it's been kind of guided anger. And I'm not even saying misguided. It's perfect for whoever needs to do it. But there's two separate things working in tandem, correct? To create what we need as a whole, because we do need that. All right, dead horse? When I've repeated myself 3 times, I start to wonder. I'm trying to convince myself here. No, and I truly believe it. And I think we're all good enough here that we can look in the mirror and see we can honor the structure we've created around, but it is not the Sabbath. Correct? So we can see it separately, and therefore we don't have to unhonor it by letting our judgments and emotions and everything get in the way, because we do see it as two separate things. All right. So there's another thing in here which I'm about to read quickly as well. It's about, I would love to change everybody's perspective immediately to what I think. Ha ha ha. I honestly don't want to do that, but I would like us to maybe look in a different perspective of the structure that we've created to house the Sabbath. Correct? All right. So it is in the same book. They're talking about something different, but I thought it was very cool. Okay. Perhaps the most important thing you create is a space in which to dwell. Like the Creator, humankind is also a creator of places. You too have the ability and the right to create places in which you and others may live, share, and love. In doing this, you are most like the one who created you. It is God's pleasure for you to forward creation through all of your generations as you create a place in which to be together. You even create a place for God by being a unique individual within the kingdom of love. Whenever you pray, whenever you express gratitude and appreciation, whenever you express wonderment for the beauties around you, you in which to be with God. There are many times also to be alone, to be in your heart and to dwell in peace. In those times, you're creating a place for yourself. It is very important that you create a place where you can simply be yourself, unconditionally, without judgment, without restraint, to simply dwell in peace and to be the love that you are. Last but not least, when you live in brotherhood, you create a place for each other. In creating a place for each other, for God and for yourself, you are perfectly fulfilling my commandment that you love God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself. By loving, you are creating places. By loving, you are creating places. In being the love that you are centered in your immortal place. In knowing the source of your love, you are creating your place with God. Through extending the benefits of that love, you have created your place in brotherhood. These are the things you create, the places in which to be. Your viewpoints of reality and the fruits of your labor. However, there is no better way of forwarding creation than simply to love God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself. So, Sabbath. Interrupt the structure. Rest, turn to eternal. Let go of temporary. Church, structure to facilitate Sabbath. Right? It's simple form. It's other things. Then we change the perspective to creating spaces. Creating spaces to love oneself, to connect with God, to love each other in brotherhood. I encourage each one of you to create a space within yourself to house the ability to demonstrate and participate with the Sabbath whenever you want. Make your own little church in your heart. That's what Jesus said. That's what Jesus said. Jesus directed us within all the time. So I encourage you to do that. And then, as well as this passage, creating a space for each other. Think about church. Think about church. You've all created your own little place in your heart where you can connect and be divine and be loved and be supported unconditionally without judgment. And then we all come to a place together where that is the main tenets. We participate in brotherhood where each of us freely allows the other to express their Sabbath. The gift we give each other so that we can connect with our eternal. Because you know what? We might be drinking from the same hose here and we're spouting the same jargon, but my eternal is different. Do you know? But I don't care. I love that you're sitting in the chair. I love that my little church inside got to come be part of your little church and your side in this grand space of eternity. Because there's no other motive behind these 5 acres. There's no other motive. I tell you, it's not money. That was supposed to be a joke. It is a place to connect with the eternal. And I think if we look at church as less as getting mad at the structure or being upset with the judgments of that structure may bring, but consciously participate with our own ability to seek connection with our Creator and come together and create something that is greater than us. That brings me to synergy, where two or more are gathered, greater is created. 2 people that resonate together, come together, they create things greater than either one of them can do on their own. And they may not even know it. And 99% of the time they don't even see it, and they aren't the recipients. That's what this is. That's why this brotherhood aspect of church, the coming together, is so fulfilling for each of us individually and fulfilling to the world around us. This is going to sound weird. And just whatever, I'm saying it, it's on the internet, so I'll deal with what happens. But imagine, so one person can make an impact on the whole. It takes the energy of many to maintain that. We are the many. And I mean this in the most inclusive way. I don't care what religion. The participatory and Sabbath, no matter what you call it, are the many that allow the rest, allow the world to raise whether people are conscious of it or not. Take this thought, and I may sound like a Christian here, but I mean this across the board. Take Sabbath, the idea of connecting with God and love and everything, and take it out. Take it out of the world. What does our world look like? And it's not us fixing people. It is us holding the vibration so that the world can raise. And it is other people doing it for us too. Do you know? We're no better or no worse. We are together. We are together, all in this one. And you know what? You can say what you want. You don't have choice. If I say it again, if we were meant to do this alone, we'd be birthed one at a time. And we'd be running around in the woods exploring animals. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it is that simple. And we think we have this choice to live or not live in brotherhood. We live in it. It's whether or not we choose to see. And I think the church is really cool. I'm a big proponent of it. I'm super happy there's a bunch of people here today. You know, for many reasons. For levels here and levels here, all the way up. It feeds me, and I love sharing mine with you. Right? I love sharing mine with you. When you come together, in this moment, and in this place, in this space where we choose to come together, it's almost like if we look at the structure of church and think church, it is very structured. And we need to maybe change that into church as being more of an action. Not an obligatory action, but an action of connection with church, and then a vessel to house that Sabbath. It is not the Sabbath. I am not the Sabbath. I'm David Fuller. The only thing is I'm willing to speak into a microphone. Church is a structure that houses the Sabbath as we can hold it as a human race. And every religion practices it. So, I would love to stand here and tell you I would love to see this place blown all the way out and have 1,000 people and be on 14 mega screens here. I would love for prosperity and wealth and happiness and all that stuff to come through this on a structure level. I would love all of that to happen. And I'm being honest with you, because that's honest. But the people and the events, the people, no matter what, no matter how long they stayed, no matter how quick they went, no matter what drama left, whether you guys are still here or whether you've come and gone, all the people in the past, the imprints they've left on us, the imprints they've left on me, the imprints they have left on this community, and the vibration they have helped raise of the United States, of the world, of everybody unknowingly, unconscious of. That is what will never be forgotten and what can never be taken away. The fame, the money, the blah, 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 all temporary. The love I have for every person that's ever walked through these doors, that's the Sabbath. Right? All right. So, I almost got through it. Told you it was rough for me, guys. So, that's what I have. I would like us to try something as well, different. So we'll take this time to center in. I would give guidance. If guidance would be taken, I would want you guys to take this time to participate in your own Sabbath, in your own way. And I'm not going to say anything, okay? This is a house to connect with your Sabbath. You do it your way. So take a few minutes. Begin. And God, we stand here together in our own unique expressions, grateful to synergize and create greater than ourselves, grateful to love one another without judgment, grateful to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued. Right now, we love you. Right now, we are grateful for this opportunity. Allow us to live so that we can sustain this Sabbath, the idea of connection and brotherhood throughout. And God, I personally ask that each one in this room know that no matter what, there is a place for them to celebrate their Sabbath with us. So it is. Thank you.